Hello IOD community and welcome to another DIY tutorial. Today is part one of a 4-part series where we're going to be showing you how to use the Oak Leaves and Acorns mold to make some gorgeous decor to decorate your Thanksgiving table. We're going to be using 13-inch chargers today. You can find a link to these and all of the products we're using today in the description below or the accompanying blog post. Chargers are also a really common item at a thrift store, so if you want to be helpful to the earth and your wallet, definitely check there first. The important thing to consider as you're choosing which of the leaves to use is how much space you have on your charger and how your plate is going to sit on top. So you can make some castings and test this out before you commit to anything on your actual plate by gluing it down. But we found that the smaller leaves worked. The larger leaves didn't want to sit flat. So use those smaller leaves and then definitely cast some acorns because we're going to create a pattern. You'll be able to see this in the image in the blog post. So use that for reference. You can always add more castings and you can set those aside in a box for use on other projects. So don't worry if you have too many, you can always use those for later, or you can be a super planner and look at the pattern, decide which ones you want to make and cast. So we are using 2 molds because we have 2 handy. You'll probably only have 1, so you're just going to have to work in batches. The quick set resin makes this pretty easy because it only takes about 10 minutes. Once those are set, you can pop those out and work on your next castings. We're going to be showing you how to do 1 charger today. Of course, you'll repeat these steps for each charger, so you might want to cast all of your leaves at once, or you might want to try 1 to get your pattern down. You can copy ours using the image in the blog post, or you can get creative and create your own layout. We are going to create a wreath shape and we want that to be continuous, so all of our leaves are pointing in the same direction on our plate. Again, it's up to you how you want this to be. The thing you want to pay attention to, like we said, is making sure that the plate that you're going to be nesting into your charger is going to sit comfortably over the top. So you can go ahead and test that out once you have your castings all ready. An important thing to consider is using resin with your molds properly. We put together a troubleshooting guide on our blog. We'll also link to it in this post. You just want to make sure that you're setting yourself up for success. One helpful tip is never use any heat on your molds. And when we say heat, we mean a heat gun or open flames. Although these are meant for the oven, that's a very different type of heat that can cause damage to your molds. So no flames and no heat guns to ensure. You can check out our IOD Mold 101 if you are new to molds. It will walk you through some of the steps of best care practices, and if you want to use clay, it will also show you how to use our IOD air dry clay. It really is up to you which type of medium you want to use. You could definitely use the clay for these. You could also use different molds. We've seen people make gorgeous Thanksgiving chargers with our IOD trimmings mold. There's 3 different designs for that one. So you could definitely check that out if you want a little bit of a different look. But of course, for this tutorial, we're going to be showing you everything about Oak Leaves and Acorns because it is magic for your Thanksgiving table and you can really get a lot of value out of just 1 mold. So we're going to pop those castings out and grab our charger. And what we'll do is work our composition on that edge of the plate. Again, making sure to check that your plate is going to nestle in comfortably. We like to work the composition dry because this means you can make any edits. We will do the whole layout around the charger and then we will start picking up piece by piece to glue those down. This gives you a lot of flexibility. And if you realize, hey, you want some different castings in there, you have the flexibility to go and make some and add them. If you have any extras, pop those in a box for another project. There's always something you can use those for, so no worries if you have a little extra. Reference the blog post for images of the exact composition, but you can see that we are laying the leaves end to end in the same direction and popping some little acorns in there to fill the space until we get a nice composition that's nice and flowing and just how we like it. Then we're going to go in with that Tite Bond Quick and Thick. We've just put some on a paper plate and we're using that popsicle stick to get nice even coating so we can stick that down on our plate. In the next step, we are going to be priming our plate with a primer. That way, once we apply the paint and then we have a plate sitting on top of that, we're not going to get any scuffing. You could potentially skip the priming step depending on your surface. You could maybe do a quick sand to get that paper paint to stick down on your charger. Of course, if you need recommendations on what type of primer is best with what type of paint or what type of paint to use, then do get in touch with your local stockist. You can find them on the Iron Orchid Designs website, hitting that red Where to Buy button to find someone local or online. There are so many different types of brands of paint, and they'll be able to guide you in which is the best one for you and what primer is going to work with your chosen paint. Creative Tribe is also a great resource. Tons of helpful tips there. So we're just going to work our way around the wreath and get that all glued down and let that settle. And now this is the primer that we're going in with. Of course, you do want to make sure those molds are dry enough before you start adding this. You don't want any of those sliding around. And then just go ahead and get nice coating on all of your plate. Go ahead and go around your molds and get this all ready for your paint. We are going to be using a soft beige color for the plates. We're going to have a nice neutral, and we will be coming back in a little bit later with some dark wax to make all of those details pop. And of course, a little bit of gold to really make this an elevated, elegant Thanksgiving table. Reminder, the primer is just to make sure you have enough grip on that shiny surface so that your paint doesn't just chip away when you put the plates on. It would be very sad to put your plates on and have your chargers chipping after just a few uses just because they weren't prepped properly. So don't skip this step, or make sure you sand if you have a different type of material that might not need the primer. Once you're all done with your primer, go ahead and set that aside to dry, and then you're going to come in with that soft beige paint. We're using a chalk type paint today. Again, many types and brands, so use what you have handy or get in touch with your stockist to get yours. We are going to do one coat, let that dry, and then we're going to do a second coat. Of course, this is going to depend on your project. You just want to make sure that it's nice and opaque so you're not getting any show through from the original charger, and you have all of that beautiful color on just how you like it. Do pay attention and care to get in all the nooks and crannies. You don't want to get finished and notice that you have spots shining through that don't look appealing. So always take your time, get that brush in those edges and those nooks and those crannies, and you will be all good. And again, making sure to do 1, 2 coats, or even 3 if you need it to get that nice opaque color. So now we've set this aside to dry. And the next step is going to be to grab your clear wax and your wax brush, because we'll go on with the clear wax first. The reason we do the clear wax before dark wax is it really does elevate the look. If you go just in with the dark wax, it's usually going to get a little too dark, at least for our taste. So go ahead and get ready to apply that clear wax in this next step. All right, we're ready for our clear wax. So go ahead and load your brush up. We're going to start in the center, getting a nice even coat all around that. This is going to be our sealer for this project. And the important thing with wax too is to really get in the nooks and crannies of your molds. The clear wax functions to just add a little bit of surface wax so that when you come in with your dark wax, you get nice, beautiful popped details without being too dark. If you just went in with a dark wax, it will still work, but it will get more of a muddy appearance. So if you want that really delicious, neutral contrast, doing the clear wax first is always recommended. And we just don't like that muddy look. So it depends on your project. It could be purposeful for something, but for this one, definitely do the clear wax first. We're going to focus on all of our outer elements first with the dark wax. Again, I'm going to keep emphasizing this. Get in those nooks and crannies. That's what's going to really pop the detail. And then you can use your lint-free cloth to go in and really just buff out those details and wipe that wax back, getting all of those beautiful vintagey vibes that we love. As we're watching Olivia go through and do the dark wax, love to ask you to think about your favorite Thanksgiving traditions. Share them with us in the comments. We love to know how you make your home feel homey during these times and what things you love, what special memories you have. Setting our tables, creating a space for family to gather is really important to us. This is where our cherished memories are in that time of closeness. So it's not just crafting, it's not just making a beautiful table, it's creating a space where your family and friends feel loved and welcomed by all of your handmade goodness, because it really is intentional to create an experience for someone. And if you've ever attended a dinner where someone has put so much work in, you really know and appreciate what they're doing for you. So we love that, and we'd love to hear what you're doing in your families and homes, because it's a community here. All right, as we finish this dark wax, we are going to do the center of the charger. So you'll grab that brush and add your dark wax all in the center. And of course, we love a little bit of gold. So once we've finished with the wax, we're going to go in with a smaller detail brush and add some gold leaf. Again, this just adds a little bit of dimension and shine, really elevating the look. You will not need to add any additional finish on the gold leaf. So you don't need any more wax or sealer. So it will be all finished after this next step. And then you'll be ready to put this on your table and nestle your plates in it. And, a tip that we love from Leslie over at My 100-Year-Old Home is to mix and match different plates. So you can even thrift these. It can add some really fun, eclectic vibes to your table. So definitely check out her channel. She's got some great tips on hosting and entertaining this season. And she will also be attending our handmade holiday event, which is coming up very shortly. And we hope to see you there. That is a live streamed event with 4 different creators, and you will learn some fun techniques and new projects there. So we will see you there. And don't forget, there are 3 more parts to this Thanksgiving table series. We have got you covered with everything you need to make a gorgeous table. So if you have any questions, don't hesitate to drop us a line, drop us a comment, chat over in the Creative Tribe. There's so many wonderful people and resources over there. We look forward to seeing you back in the next video and seeing all of the beautiful things you create with this project inspiration.